Здорово.
A reward on the road.
Так. Ладно, можно отправляться теперь в путь. Ну вообще, что-то не врубаюсь ни хрена, конечно, мне сюда надо было идти.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Блин, он на улице был. Это не он. А он выше. Как мне туда залезть?
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Mr. Chow? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently
Panda,
rented
ты
a
ещё
pair
на
of
стриме?
hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins. I can't lend them to you right now. I've lost them. I don't know how it could
Чё,
have
как тебе
happened.
вообще
I
видосик?
always kept them right by my side, and
Grounded.
I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, there's no way I could come up with that amount of money on such short notice. My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever since the chasm was sealed off.
Я
We now
старался.
have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some
Блин,
stuff from
чё-то
other
актива
ore
нет.
merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss prices. That's what the hairpins were for, well, to keep up appearances. I can't have them looking down on me. But now that I've lost the hairpins, what will I do?
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of deja vu?
Would you really? I sent a commission to the Adventurers Guild, but I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Hold on. Don't
Слушай,
run
ты
off
можешь
looking for
как-то
the hairpins
созвать
just yet. Mr.
народ?
Chow, would you let me have a look at the rental contract you signed?
Huh? Well, I mean, sure, I have it right here. Here you are.
Let me see. That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? True. Though surely there must be a win-win solution. Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you must pay Mr. Crossell the original Furthermore, the contract also expressed, and given the rarity of Smaragdus jadeite...
Even higher. Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Jucho looks like she's about to faint. However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid into the hairpins. Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so how exactly would we be able to find out if the jadeite is genuine or not? Whichever way you look at it, we've got to start by finding those hairpins. Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the jadeite is genuine, would there? Seems right.
Please. However much it is, I will have to pay it. Now that it's come to this, I really
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. But before that, I have some questions about the hairpins. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first touched the hairpins, what did you feel?
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were perfectly smooth to the touch, like the finest quality jade. My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past, so I am quite certain of my judgment in this matter.
Smooth to the touch, finest quality jade. No, it's nothing. I just need...
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
About that.
You lost them!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Mora! Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get... I just don't... Forget it.
No problem. But
Всё,
before
как
I
дела
can give
вообще?
an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. It was in fact genuine smaragd...
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay back 10 times the value.
Alright, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation. Please wait here, Mr. Crossell.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that they're worth.
Looks like I'll have to find
Please wait, Mr. Chow. It's not con-
Miss Yanfei, what is this about? Are you here to tell me how much I owe?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the Orin laid on those hairpins.
What do you mean?
Are you? Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a... I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground. If mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll... Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel...
No, not at all.
Now that is strange. If I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite.
If that's the case, we should go confront him.
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way. And then he'd throw the Smaragdus. After that, he would simply insist that Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of.
Well then, since you're so...
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, can I...
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? Paimon can't even keep track. It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned.
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and I'll also need your signatures on pages.
This contract has so many pages.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and
I've had to read through...
well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable, I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case...
Miss Yanfei, I have to ask, why are you...
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus jadeite myself. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is also the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage. But again, let's not dwell on this. Ah, I've got it. Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore. If Mr. Crossell had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Так. Ну, не так долго, что ли. Не очень. Где-то, наверное, месяца 2. Так, здесь все, здесь все. Все. Пушка. Блин, я забыл, как вставать. О, все вспомнил.
Why, hello there, honored.
Но я в него прям так часто не играю
No, nothing
просто.
of the sort. Has this
A Snezhnayan merchant
сейчас
named
толком.
Crossell, you say?
Играю в другие игры. КС там, Майнкрафт,
I do
Grounded.
remember that. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it. He was quite generous with his...
Do you have any...
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore after...
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings. Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragd...
Is that so? Well, we might as well give Elemental Sight a shot. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by...
there's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great
Моя
many of these in
любимая
my
игра
time.
это или Genshin Impact, или GTA RP.
These two stones actually look very similar. Someone
Но
without
в
a deep
Genshin пока что
understanding of
я
them would there may
немножко
be only a
перестаю
subtle
играть.
difference for the cat, and I'm sure a significant difference
GTA
in
я
the
уже давно не
cost of having them
заходил.
Oh,
carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Cross...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to...
А у тебя какая любимая игра?
Miss Yanfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store...
yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. He...
Then I have no further questions. but could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But my...
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossell brought to your store.
Это что за
Please
игрушка?
read it carefully.
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yanfei.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope.
Я сейчас могу зайти посмотреть. Все, не, я вспомнил, что это за игрушка. А сколько она стоит в Стиме? Ё-моё. 230 гривен? Реально. Но одна стоит 170, другая стоит 130. Дороговатенько. Хотя игрушка прикольная. Я помню, к чувачку на стрим залетал, он в нее играл.
Singsi. She often helps people.
Well, that was quick. How come you...
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are, as such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle.
You memorized them?
Чё,
You sound
нормалек.
surprised, knowing, oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then.
Ну,
Let's
она
go
на
look
Новый
for
год
Singsi.
была по акции. Если мне память не изменяет.
Oh, Miss Yanfei, it's you.
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. Has a merchant by the name of Crossell asked you to put...
Crossell. Yes, I remember him. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which...
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Singsi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossell commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and Mr. Crossell wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself. The item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins.
Как вот себе поднять сейчас
The
активно в
inlaid
стриме? Я
gemstone
вообще
is
не
recorded
понимаю.
as Smaragdus Jadeite.
Thank you, Singsi. Now, could you let me borrow this
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon...
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus jadeite is harmful to the human. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands,
Да, блин, ну как можно было промазать?
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor.
no. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with.
Smaragdus jadeite? Why, the Seven Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow. It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged... Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way. I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the pharmaceutical...
That is indeed the case. If you would be so kind.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I wouldn't, but after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment.
Как думаешь, удалять стримы или их так и
If your
оставлять?
pressing business might be related.
Ah, you needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baiju. Thank you for penning us that document. I'll make sure to compensate you in due course.
You're too kind. Take care now.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation?
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can...
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her?
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was in... Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hair...
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by...
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus jadeite and Smaragdus... In any case, Smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite.
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are...
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Seems like he came prepared.
Hard evidence. Something legally binding. We have just... Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the document from the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet. Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case.
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that, however, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigation.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossell.
Huh? No, I...
Aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Sir Chow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yanfei's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different
I admit it. I confess.
Вот и
But I'm a
вопрос,
victim in all of this
зачем он
too.
отмазывался
I
тогда?
invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring, but after receiving it and
сразу же
carrying it
сдаться.
around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I daren't I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then...
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be... If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I fail to see what bearing any of this has on your trend.
10 times.
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility.
Ms. Jichao, you...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you...
What? But I... All right then.
Miss Yanfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you. I trust that...
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go. But whatever, it'll do.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yanfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit and express my thanks more appropriately.
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr.
Well, yes, I believe...
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good. That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I'd like to talk business for a second if I may. I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, We end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to even though the solution didn't involve actually finding the hairpins.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that an Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's been on tenterhooks for a while now.
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
Ah, you've returned. How good, good. Then we have all the material.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Oh, you. All right then. Go see to your business. Granny should be able to.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me.
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she. Ah, indeed she is. Liyue's Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city. Liyue is not the same place I once knew. All right then, let us speak of this no more. Back on topic.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long at all. Just wait here for a moment. There we go. This serenity pot is all yours. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot.
Wait a minute, Granny. How exactly are we supposed to use this teapot?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little...
Опа-на. Супер. Да ладно, это круто. Что же выбрать? Прикольно.
There's even a great big house in the huh? But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that. Well, you're the one with the sword anyway. You do it. Still, why is it so empty here apart from that house? Oh, wait a second.
блин, красиво.
Well, it seems that we have a visitor. It's a huge finch! Excuse me, I am not a finch. Hang on a moment. What am I... Oh, call me. I suppose you may call me Tubby. So you're the little helper Madam Ping mentioned? Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. Yes, you may leave all matters regarding the upkeep of this realm to me. Your journey may be far from over, but at least this way, though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time of day to attend to the banal matter of their mate. Thus, we teapot spirits were created to help guard their realms, and you may consider me a butler. Now, allow me to explain this realm to you. Have you any blueprints on you? Specifically, blueprints with beautiful rooms, chairs, and the like. As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm however you please. Blueprints? Oh, that's right! Granny handed us some when she gave us the teapot, didn't she? Let's take them out and have a look. Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking about. Go on, just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare the necessary materials. Then simply release the thought from your mind and the object in the blueprint shall appear within this teapot. Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't we? I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained this to me at some point in the past. He said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, even that has its limits. This world is not a true one, after all. It provides merely a moment of brief respite from the mortal realm. Not a golden-eyed adeptus? Paimon wonders who could that be? I hardly remember myself. What's more, I have never seen that adeptus again. Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around. Best you get accustomed to this realm. If there's anything you would like to ask, just look for me.
Короче, я понял. Это, считай, мой дом теперь. Что-либо. Типа того. Привет. А, это типа на мой мир зайти тут в Геншине. В том плане, если у тебя есть 16 ранг и персонажа, то ты можешь зайти ко мне на мультиплеер. Вот. Сейчас, секунду, где оно? Вот здесь вот. Я типа включаю, к примеру. И ты сюда заходишь потом. Ну там обычная сюжетка. Скачиваешь Геншин, потом выполняешь задания, убиваешь как можно больше всяких чудиков. Ну и там тебе дается опыт персонажа. Что-то вроде этого. Вот. Можешь тут прочитать, если хочешь. Большинство MMORPG играх то же самое, просто идешь поначалу, вкачиваешься, лутаешь все подряд, а потом уже ты вдупляешься и все рассортировываешь. Сначала заходишь на сайт, там регаешься. То есть пишешь там Genshin Impact, тебе сразу же выдает ссылку, заходишь по ней, регаешься там, скачиваешь потом. Вообще сейчас ее в Epic Games можно скачать. Но я скачивал по отдельному лаунчеру, то есть на официальном сайте. А так ты можешь зайти в Epic Games, там сейчас есть Genshin Impact. Честно сказать, не знаю, наверное, около 30-ки. Я сейчас могу посмотреть. Сейчас. Короче, он весит около 30-ки, да. Там 28 гиг. Так, блин, еще надо найти, как отсюда можно выйти с чайника. А то я в чайнике застрял. Подожди, и... Спухлиша, что ли?
Maybe you're not used to the place at the moment, but once you've
Ага, ух ты. Награда уровней. Собрать награду. Лол, это прикольно. Мне это нравится. Сколько здесь? Только 10. Ну, вообще круто. Еще одна, можно сказать. Сюжеточка появляется в итоге. Ладно, мне надо вернуться в обычный мир, конечно. Это дом, а в обычный мир как вернуться? Ну да, короче, я затащен, походу. Но мне это вообще не нравится. Мне надо отсюда как-то выйти, а я хз как. А, все, я типа... Да ладно. Так, ладно, сейчас еще -1 перс будет. Сейчас всех поубиваю. Нет, это будет долго. Круг ХП отнимается. Что делать? Как отсюда выйти? Да ладно, я еще и тут воскресился. Не-не-не, это не то. Опа-на. Господин Ду.
The one before you is known as Jade Seeker. One travels far and wide, seeking not... Ah. Encounters with fine treasures cannot be forced.
Ого! Прикольно. Я могу себе животных тут понакупать. Так, ладно, пока тратиться не буду, но... Реально не знаю, как отсюда выйти. О, я нашел как раскладку менять. Не, это я в этой с игры. Опа-на. Ха, нормально, нового перса выбил. Да ладно, нормалек. Ну как нового? Вообще у меня есть он уже. Ну чё, вообще и так неплохо. Лол, не ожидал. Блин, его, конечно, купить было бы круто. Хороший перс. Это было хорошо. Это было очень хорошо. Пока. А можно ж ты протереть как-то, пожалуйста? Тут проблемки. Ладно, у него спрошу, как выйти отсюда. Ага, прикольно, я могу не только на островах, походу. Спасибо. Я даже не представляю, как из этого можно выйти. Может еще раз как-то чайник попробовать достать, что ли? А, ну кстати, да, я и не подумал об этом. А если я дважды достану чайник? Разместить? Боже мой! Ну а чё нет? Тоже вкусно. Ты прикинь, просто на логику порассуждать, и можно было сюда выйти на спокойно. Так, ладно, что тут нужно повыполнять? Какие задания? Отфигачить, что ли, кому-то пойти? Чё нет? Хотя тотемы будут следовать. 1000 метров. Слушай, панда, вопрос, мне удалять стримы вообще, вот, после того, как вот я постримил, удалять их или оставлять на канале? Ну, их вряд ли кто-то будет смотреть так. Так, здесь ничего интересного, но нового нам не расскажет.
Ad Astra Abyssa.
Так, ладно, здесь ничего нового тоже нету. Ваня ниже. Что за бред? Куда ниже? А, это где-то там под скалой. Да нет, такое сообщение не в городе это было. Понятно. Я пошел рыбачить. Так, ну вообще. Я думаю, пока что закончить этот стрим. Может, еще сегодня вечером зайду уже вместе с Максом будем. Или в Майн, или в ГС, или в Грандед. А может быть даже и GTA. Ладно. Ладно, спасибо, панда, что был на стриме. Всем остальным тоже спасибо. Еще увидимся.